Welcome to the Fenwick and Trinity High School's virtual college fair. Thank you very much for joining us today. Before we get started with our presentations, just a few quick housekeeping items. The first is that attendees are welcome and encouraged to ask questions to any of the panelists at any time utilizing the Q&A button. You can pose your question to a specific presenter or ask a general question to any and all of the presenters. Also, just a reminder, your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists will not be able to see or hear you. And about 1 week from today, a recording of this session will be available on that same registration website. Without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and introduce our first presenter, which will be Gonzaga University.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. Thanks for pronouncing that correctly. Love that. My name is Usel Aguilar. I am a senior admission counselor at Gonzaga University, located in Spokane, Washington. So I will go ahead and share my screen to start my presentation. And then if you have questions, please feel free to ask those through the chat or the Q&A. So Gonzaga University is one of 27 Jesuit universities in the US. A couple of my Jesuit colleagues are here as well. We are located in Spokane, Washington. We are a small, medium-sized liberal arts university in the Jesuit tradition, and Jesuits are an order of Catholic priests that focus on education for social change. So we have about, let me advance to the next slide, 52 to 5,300 undergraduate students at any given time. So definitely, like I mentioned, like that small to medium size. Most students are coming from over 200 miles away. We're about 60% out of state and about 40% in state. So a lot of students are also coming from further states. And for that reason, we have lots of programming over those, short little breaks, those 3-day weekends where you might not be able to go home. We have lots of like backpacking trips, river rafting, if you wanted to do that instead of traveling home or just stay on campus. So there are lots of options and many different offices dedicated to supporting you. So there's a list there. And one that I like to highlight is Center for Student Academic Success. So we will actually register you for your first semester of courses, so you don't have to worry about that. These were the statistics that I personally was looking at when I was looking at universities. The great thing about Gonzaga is that it provides that small academic experience while feeling like a big school in terms of spirit, involvement, which is what I was really looking for. In terms of academic programs, we have 5 undergraduate schools, and I've highlighted some of the key programs in each of those schools, as well as our pre-professional programs. And those aren't majors. You add those to your major, and you'll have an advisor specific to that pre-professional program that will help support you into getting into that particular grad program. But 2 programs that I would like to mention that are direct admission, engineering and nursing. So we'll take a little bit more closer of a look at your math and science background for preparation for that major. So in terms of study abroad, this is a huge part of who we are at the university. It's in our mission to be global citizens. So over half of our students will do a study abroad program at some point of their undergraduate studies, typically sophomore to the end of junior year. And our most popular program is Gonzaga in Florence, but there are many programs. There are programs on every continent except for Antarctica. And there are programs that are specific to an academic program, or if you just want to go to a location because you're interested in that, then that's great. Like I mentioned, this is a huge amount of students will study abroad each semester. In terms of life on campus, so very seasonally distinct. It is very sunny outside right now. It is hard not to get washed out. It is a really sunny, warm day. So we're heading into that springtime. But we are seasonally distinct, so we will get snow. It's only about 2 to 3 feet of snow per year, so it's not a ton. And it's not overwhelming, which I grew up in California, which is really helpful for me to have a little bit of snow, but not that much. So in terms of student life, very active campus, over 140 different clubs. This is very spirited, lots of involvement in the areas that you're interested in. So we're not strictly like a university that has a lot of involvement in service or athletics. It's we have involvement in all of those areas. So it depends on what you're interested in, but you'll find a lot of students with similar interests. In terms of athletics, we are a D1 program for all of our athletic programs. So we have D1 club sports and intramurals, and tickets are free for our students. Monetarily, you will have to wait in line. That first clip at the beginning was waiting in line for one of our bigger tournaments, but really involved in athletics, not just in D1, but club and intramural sports have a lot of participation and are a lot of fun and a great way to get to know other students. So in terms of Spokane, Washington, we are the second largest city in the state. We're on the eastern side, about 20 minutes from Idaho. So Seattle's the largest city, but we're on opposite sides, very much an outdoorsy city. I can really go like 10, 15 minutes in any direction and hit some kind of outdoor program while also being super close to downtown and in a like vibrant city life. In terms of admission, so you apply on the Common App. That is where most of my fellow colleagues will also have their application. The deadline is December 1st. We don't have early action or early decision. We just have one application timeline. Incoming class averages are listed there, and we are indefinitely test optional. So you can submit your scores if you would like, but you don't have to, even for those direct admission programs or for consideration for merit scholarship, it's test optional. We do offer admission interviews if you're interested, and we do take demonstrated interest into account. With financial aid, you'll complete the FAFSA by December 1st, send it to us, and then that's how we review for need-based aid. There are also application-based scholarships that you can take a look at, and I review all of those, and strong applicants rise quickly within the pool. And for merit scholarship, you don't have to apply for them. You're automatically considered for merit scholarship. So that isn't something that you'll have to fill out a separate form for. But if you have any questions, please feel free to ask it in the Q&A. My name is Lucelle Aguilar. I am the admission counselor for the state of Illinois and most of the upper Midwestern states. So if you do have any questions, my contact information is on the slide, but thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gonzaga. Up next today is College of the Holy Cross.
Thanks so much for having me, and hello to everyone from Fenwick and Trinity. Definitely had some great visits to both schools in past years, and looking forward to hopefully being able to see some folks in person this fall. Fingers crossed. So College of the Holy Cross, also a Jesuit school, so do have a good amount in common with Gonzaga, but certainly, all colleges and universities are distinct in different ways. So we share the same tradition, but have our own unique aspects as institutions. So these are the words that we really use to identify and describe ourselves as a college. We are small, just focused on undergraduate education. So as Isel mentioned, there's 27 different Jesuit institutions in the United States for higher education, and Holy Cross is the only one that's focused exclusively on undergraduate education. So we actually require that all of our students come in undeclared. We do allow our applicants to indicate their interests, but there's no direct entry programs. No student starts with a major. So we embrace this idea of openness and flexibility and getting the chance to explore our liberal arts core curriculum. So having the chance to take classes at the college level and getting a sense of what direction you want your life to take. So double majors are very popular at Holy Cross, as well as taking advantage of minors, concentrations, and career programs. But we certainly are very career focused as well, in addition to being a liberal arts institution. So our 5 major career programs are health professions advising, previously known as pre-med, as well as our 3-2 engineering program with Columbia University, our pre-business program, which is centered around ethics and society, as well as pre-law and our teacher education program. I would say our pre-law and pre-med programs have produced some successful grads in the past. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't mention that Dr. Anthony Fauci is a graduate of our pre-med program, and he was a classics major at Holy Cross. So he studied Greek and Latin and literature and philosophy, and that ultimately led him to medical school. So you can really do anything at a place like Holy Cross, and your major doesn't necessarily always correspond with your career. And we are in Worcester, Massachusetts, so far, far away from Spokane, Washington, but kind of similar in some ways in that Boston is the city that a lot of people think about in Massachusetts. Worcester is in the middle of the state of Massachusetts, and it's the second largest city in New England, 185,000 residents, and very much a college town. So there are a total of 12 colleges and universities in Worcester. And we are set up on a hill. So there are 7 hills in Worcester, and Holy Cross occupies one of them. This is an aerial view of our campus, but from many spots on campus, we overlook the city. So you kind of get that best of both worlds in that you have a suburban residential campus, with 3,000 undergraduate students, but then also a major metropolitan area to explore, and Boston just being an hour away that our students get into a lot as well. Study abroad, definitely a big thing at Holy Cross as well. As it is at many colleges and universities, we specialize in long-term study abroad programs. So we really encourage students who are interested to go for an entire year. We believe that this cultural immersion and language fluency really pays dividends, and a lot of our students will end up applying to postgraduate programs like Fulbright and Rhodes scholarships, Teach for America, Peace Corps. So kind of getting out into the country and into the world, and being global citizens is certainly a part of Jesuit education. Our alumni, I really do think it's a special bunch, just in terms of the generosity and participation that they give with their time, energy, and resources. And this is a family. Going to a college is joining a family for 4 years and for the rest of your life. So I think that's certainly an important part of the process. We've been test optional since 2005 and continue to be. So we're kind of one of the early adopters of this notion that you are more than your score, and we care about many aspects of who you are as an applicant and as a student. So I'll get into that towards the end of the presentation, but we also are a Division I school. So we're not going to be a 1 seed in this year's March Madness like Gonzaga is going to be, but we are the smallest school to have ever won the national championship for basketball. It was back in the 1950s, so it's been a little bit of time when Bob Cousy was on the Hill, but I think the Division I sports definitely add a great element to the experience overall. And just wanted to highlight some of our acceptance rates to graduate programs as well there. Just wanted to highlight a couple of new campus resources. We have this Contemplative Center, which is built for retreats and about 15 minutes off campus. It was constructed by a Chicago alum of Holy Cross, Thomas Joyce. This is a really beautiful place for pausing and reflecting and praying. And there's yoga retreats here as well. So really beautiful new space. We just finished, actually opened just a few days ago, this new recreation and wellness center, which we're very excited about for our students who are non-Division I athletes. And this fall, we'll have our new Performing Arts Center built as well. So much of what makes Holy Cross special has remained the same, but there's definitely some exciting new places that are getting added to our campus. Final thing that I'll mention, just in terms of our admission process, we really value admission interviews. We want to get to talk to you and know you on an individual level. So if you are a rising senior, you'll be able to interview this summer or this fall. So that's all the time I have, but very much appreciate your time and attention, and hope that you'll take the chance to reach out to me if you have any questions.
Thank you very much, Holy Cross. Up next is Loyola University, Chicago.
How you doing? How you doing? Thank you all for having me. Let me quickly share my screen. So my name is Gianni Cook. I'm an admission counselor at Loyola Chicago. If the screen can full size, that would be even better. Give me 1 second. Oh no. Try this one more time. There we go. So again, my name is Gianni Cook. I'm an admission counselor for Loyola Chicago. I'm also an alum of Loyola, originally from St. Louis, Missouri, came to Chicago for college. Loyola is a very transformative school. We're also a Jesuit university, as the two previous universities are. And as someone who had literally no knowledge into what being a Jesuit meant coming into college, I appreciate just the values and the lessons that I get from that. So to talk quickly about, Loyola and who we are, we can talk about where we are. Our Lakeshore campus is the campus that students usually talk of. This is a picture of our Lakeshore campus. We're on the north side of Chicago. We are in Chicago, Illinois, in a neighborhood called Rogers Park. We're literally right off the lake, and our campus has about 35 acres of space to do that. So there's going to be a common theme of the best of both worlds. I also agree that Loyola is the best of both worlds, and that when you walk into our campus space, it's us. And then once you leave, you're in Chicago, the third largest city in the country. So we kind of do have a good bridge in between a traditional college experience and that urban setting. So as far as some of the features of the college, we are the largest Jesuit university of the 27 colleges. We have about 12,000 students on the undergraduate level, so that makes us around a medium-sized school. We're a little bit bigger than normal medium-sized school, but still medium. And there are a lot of good benefits that come out of that. So similar to Zucel was saying, our average class size is 26. Our student-to-faculty ratio is 14-1, just allowing students to have a very interactive, personal educational experience. I can say the largest class I ever had at Loyola was 50 folks, and that was an intro level econ class. So we're trying to make sure that you can have a very hands-on interactive experience. We offer over 80 majors, over 80 minors at Loyola, because one of the big points of emphasis for us is allowing students the freedom and the choice to do whatever they like to do. So for us, all our major programs are direct entry, including our nursing engineering program, but you can also switch your major, you can change your mind, you can change and do a lot of different things. So again, we want to offer you the freedom and flexibility to kind of make your experience their own. So we talk about diversity. Loyola is 40% student of color. We have some resources for those students. One of the offices is our Student Diversity and Multicultural Affairs office. I worked in that office during my time as a student, so if you have some questions about that, feel free to ask away during the Q&A function. And then we also are religiously, have religious diversity in that same context. So while we're a Catholic school, only about 60% of our students identify as Catholic. I personally am not Catholic, and we want to be a home of all faiths. So Loyola is a center for interfaith ministry in general. So we have resources for our Catholic students, including a chapel, including student organizations focused on the Catholic faith. But our emphasis and our focus is on a worldview and students interacting with folks from all different worlds and backgrounds. So religion is one of those things that we want to be very diverse in that context as well. So you can see some of the different features for us at Loyola. We're ranked number 49 in the country in undergraduate teaching, so we're doing that pretty well. And as far as study abroad goes, in general, I think every student, regardless of your university, have a study abroad experience. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. We have over 150 different programs that students have access to. 2 of those campuses are Loyola campuses abroad, one in Rome, Italy, one in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. And about 1 out of 3 students are going to go have some sort of study abroad experience during their time at Loyola. So of our 12,000 students, 4,000 of them will have some sort of abroad experience. You all should 100% be in that category. So think about study abroad moving forward as well. But these are some of the macro features of Loyola. To talk about some of the more specific things, we can get into academics and student life. At the bullet points there, you see our different colleges. And again, these programs are direct entry. So if you apply as a major, you're admitted as that major, including nursing and engineering. We have a very competitive nursing program as well. And again, you can switch your mind. So again, student to faculty ratio 14:1, average class size of 26, just getting that classroom community. That kind of covers the academic side of things. And the benefit of being in a city like Chicago is purely related to career development and internship possibilities, just in that you can be a student and get an internship down the street, and you can have that for class credit in Chicago, in the 3rd largest city in the country. So we're trying to blend those worlds perfectly. As far as student life goes, I don't think people stress this enough. College should be fun. You should enjoy yourself in college. If you're not enjoying your college experience, I don't think you're doing college right. So we do want to make sure that we can facilitate a really fun and engaging time for you all while you're on Loyola's campus. We have over 250 student organizations. Any interest you have is probably a club to join. We're also in Chicago, so everything Chicago has, you have access to that. Students get to ride public transportation for free being a full-time student at Loyola. We're also part of Division I athletics at Loyola. We're D1 in the Missouri Valley Conference. Our men's basketball team is ranked 18th in the country right now. We also have a national championship under our belt. We're the only college in Illinois to win a national championship, 1963. But D1 sports is one of those things that we do really well. Our men's and women's soccer teams are both leading the conference for Missouri Valley. And students also have free access to any home game that we have. So you show your ID, you get in for free. We're trying to make sure we can facilitate a really good time for y'all while you're here. So student organizations, athletics, all free. Even just event and engagement speakings, and people have come on campus in the past like Nick Jonas, Hannibal Burris, Trevor Noah. So our university will put on different events just so students can have a good time. And that's just including the things that are on campus, not even including the world of Chicago that's open to you. And I do think the most successful students blend a little bit of on-campus and off-campus experiences at Loyola. Again, because we're in the 3rd largest city in the country, we want you to take advantage of that. So college should be fun. Let me leave it at that. And then talking about the application process, we want to make this as seamless as possible. Our application is entirely free. We're on our own website. We're also on the Common application and the Coalition application. And you only need the actual application, letter of recommendation, and transcripts to apply, and that's it. We are test optional moving forward. Even if you do decide to submit a test score, we super score. So if you have taken the SAT or multiple times, we're going to take those highest sub scores across all the times you've taken the SAT or ACT to give you your maximum possible score. So we're trying to make this process entirely free all the way through, as seamless as possible all the way through. And most of our students are going to receive some sort of grants or financial aid. And on a similar context, 98% of students 3 months after graduating from Loyola are in grad school or employed. So these are things that we just really want to make sure that we encourage for you all to take advantage of all the opportunities that exist at Loyola and in the city of Chicago. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Loyola. As we move into the second half of our presentations, just a quick reminder to all of our attendees, please feel free to send any questions to our panelists utilizing the Q&A feature. But up next is Fordham University.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sydney Gabriel-Ezdi, and my pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm here in New York City from Fordham University. I'm quickly going to share my screen as well, so I can show you a bit more about Fordham in addition to telling you, hopefully, a lot more about it today. All right. So at Fordham University, as you've heard from many of our other schools, you'll find a lot of really wonderful opportunities. We are also a Jesuit school, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But I want to talk a little bit about just who is at Fordham, who our population is. So in total, we have just under 17,000 students. That includes our undergraduate, graduate, and professional schools. We are a kind of small, medium, more on the medium side college with just under 9,000 undergraduate students spread across 2 campuses, which I'll talk about both of those today as well. We are a national and international university. We have students from 47 states around the country, as well as 82 countries around the world. 34% of our students identify as students of color, 9% are international students, and about 17% of our students are first-generation students. So we have students who are coming from right here in New York City, as well as a huge number of students who are coming from around the country and around the world, and a lot coming from Illinois. I am one of our admission reps for Illinois, and Illinois always ranks in our top 5 states. So we always love to have students coming out there to New York to join us. As many of the other universities have mentioned, they are Jesuit universities, as are we at Fordham, and we like to break down what it means to be at Fordham and what the Fordham experience is into kind of 3 main parts, that we are the Jesuit University of New York. So I'll talk about each of those things and how that sort of defines the Fordham experience, and we'll go through that backwards, because I think that's the easiest way to kind of understand Fordham and understand what you'd be getting yourself into when you're applying to Fordham and hopefully thinking about it as a future home for yourself. Of course, New York City is a big part of the experience. I'm originally from California, from Southern California, so New York and the East Coast were new to me many years ago, but have come to be called home. For our Fordham students, they also get to call New York City home. And it's such a wonderful part of the Fordham experience because you are getting to take advantage of New York as a professional experience, as a social experience, as really just a cultural experience. And that you can go and get free tickets to Broadway shows. We have speakers who are working in New York City that will come to campus. We have students that go on field trips to the Metropolitan Museum or the Museum of Natural History. Our environmental science classes go into Central Park to collect samples to do research. So New York City is really part of your experience, both academically and professionally. As I mentioned, we do have 2 campuses that sort of make up our university for undergraduate students. We have our Rose Hill campus, which is our original campus in the Bronx, and our Lincoln Center campus in Manhattan. Kind of getting to know the 2 campuses are one of the most important things. Our Rose Hill campus is our more traditional campus, about 6,000 students on 80 acres of rolling green lawns, big Gothic buildings. And our Lincoln Center campus is a smaller campus, about 2,500 students, but it's right in the heart of Manhattan, a block away from Central Park, walking distance from Broadway shows. When you apply to Fordham, you do choose a specific campus. You also choose a specific college. So at each campus, we have a College of Liberal Arts and a College of Business. The College of Business is spread between the 2 campuses, but they are one college. So you'll choose to apply either to a liberal arts college or to business, and you'll choose either our Rose Hill campus in the Bronx or our Lincoln Center campus in Manhattan. Students can take advantage of things across the 2 campuses and across all of the colleges. You can have minors across colleges, you can take classes across the colleges, but you aren't ever required to go between them. It's kind of up to you how much the other campus or the other colleges really play a role into your experience. Within those colleges, we do encourage you to really challenge yourself. We have over 70 different majors, but 20% of our students come in undecided. So a good chunk also change their mind or decide to add on a double major or a minor after they've enrolled at Fordham. So you have that opportunity to really explore between all these 70 different majors. Being in New York City, as I mentioned, internships are a huge part of the experience, but 80% of our students have at least one internship. But I've sent students who have had 6 different internships because you can really work them into your schedule during the school year and not just during the summer, being in New York City. And then about 45% of our students do study abroad. We have a London center, so if you'd like to go to kind of a Fordham campus abroad, or we have 110 other programs around the world that you can do. In terms of getting involved beyond New York City or beyond academics, we have about 225 different clubs. We have intramural sports, we have club sports, and we also have 22 Division I varsity sports. And then, of course, we encourage our students to get involved outside of our campus activities or clubs by going out into New York City, engaging with service through our Center for Community and Engaged Learning, or just taking advantage of all the things that New York has to offer and learning from the city and becoming a really active member of the community that is New York and the immediate communities and neighborhoods surrounding our campuses. You've heard quite a bit about Jesuit education, but I'll touch on some core principles of Jesuit education that define, I think, it broadly, but also specifically at Fordham. So those three principles are cura personalis, magis, and hominis pralis. The first is a care for the whole person or the individual. We want you to feel really supported and cared for at Fordham. That's why we have small class sizes and a lot of support services. Magis or more, we want you to be pushing yourself, really take advantage of everything we offer. And then hominis pralis is care for others or people for others. We want you to think about what it means to be part of a community and really engaging in service. If you're thinking about applying to Fordham, we do use the common application. We do have early action, early decision, and a regular decision. Early action, early decision are November 1st deadlines. Regular decision is January 1st, and we are test optional for this upcoming year. So SAT and ACT scores are not required. An equally important part of the process is financial aid. So we do encourage everyone to apply for financial aid just by submitting the FAFSA and CSS profile. If you consider financial aid, we'll automatically consider you for merit scholarships. And you can check out more information on our website. Thanks, everyone. Hope to share more information about Fordham with you in the future.
Thank you very much, Fordham. Now moving to the other side of the US, we move to University of San Diego.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Jackie Burkett. I'm a senior admission counselor here at the University of San Diego, also a very proud alumna of the class of 2011. So we are a private Catholic university. Fun fact, we are not Jesuit. While we typically do get grouped in with them because of our similar missions, we were actually founded by the Diocese of San Diego and the Sisters of the Sacred Heart. We started off as the San Diego College for Men, San Diego College for Women, and in '72, we combined to be what is now USD. So we are still quite a young university, but still rooted in that Catholic intellectual tradition. One of our founders, Mother Rosalie Hill, she had this idea that if she built a beautiful campus, it would draw people here. On campus, our students would find truth, within truth, find goodness, and be able to spread that goodness around the world. So beauty, truth, and goodness is really what USD is all about, and it still runs with us today, as we are the #6 most beautiful campus in the nation, thanks to the Princeton Review. But let me tell you a little bit about our campus community and where our students come from. So we do have about 5,900 undergraduates, about 2,600 grad and law students, so we are considered a mid-sized university. 48% of our students come from out of state, about 10% are international, so that does leave the rest Californians. 38% of our students identify as being students of color, and only about 40% of our students identify as Catholic. So we have students coming from all across the globe, all different walks of life, and that is something that we celebrate on our campus. We have our Center for Inclusion and Diversity, our Commons, which houses our Women's Commons, our LGBTQ and Allies Commons, Black Student Resource Commons, as well as our United Front Multicultural Center, which has 33 different multicultural clubs and organizations. So there's lots of opportunities to grow within your own culture and learn about others while you're here. And of course, the whole purpose of going off to college is to receive an education, and we believe in the liberal arts at USD. So you're not just going to be studying courses within your major, but courses within everything else as well, from fine arts, math, science, history, philosophy, a little bit of everything. But we do have 42 different majors to choose from, about 56 different minors. We have a wonderful School of Business, which has a great reputation, houses some popular majors like finance and accounting. We have a School of Engineering, which is only about 7 years old, and it's already 13th in the nation for undergraduate engineering programs. And we also have, of course, our College of Arts and Sciences, being a liberal arts university. Some popular majors: biology, psychology, communications, political science. So there's definitely a lot to choose from at USD. And we also have pre-professional advising programs for those who want to go into the health field, or if you want to be a lawyer. These are additional advisors to go along with your major advisor to make sure that you're competitive to get into a graduate level program. But my favorite experience at USD was the small class sizes. Average class size is only 22, and we cap our classes at 40. So you will never have more than 40 students in any of your classes, and that's at the basic English 121 level. We want all of our students working one-on-one with professors. So all of our courses are taught by professors. 97% of them have a terminal degree in their field. So you're really learning from the best of the best. But our students are not only involved inside of the classroom, but outside of the classroom. And we make it pretty easy as we have over 180 different clubs and organizations to get involved in. Everything from our accounting society to our skydiving club, whatever you can possibly think of in between. We're also home to 17 NCAA Division I sports. We play in the West Coast Conference, except for football. We're 1AA, we play in the Pioneer League. We definitely have a lot of Torero pride on our campus. You'll see Diego the Torero, he's right here, he's our mascot. So our students really enjoy going to the games and supporting our fellow Toreros. But also we live in San Diego, and that has a lot to do with what our students get involved in outside of the classroom. We're just 15 minutes north of downtown, 15 minutes south of La Jolla, 10 minutes away from the beaches. So it's pretty easy to get off campus and take full advantage of this awesome city that we live in. And things that kind of make USD unique is that we are one of only 45 changemaker campuses in the world, designated because of what we do outside of the classroom. Our Torero community is committed to social justice, social innovation, entrepreneurship, sustainability, and global citizenship. Our students do simple things like fundraising to send No. 2 pencils to third world countries. Something as big as completely developing and building an irrigation system for a village in Sudan. So we want our students to not only think about their impact at USD, but how they're going to impact the world. So we're also consistently ranked top 10 in the nation for our study abroad participation. About 76% of our students will study abroad at least once during their time at USD. We have over 80 different programs, 30 different countries, 6 different continents. So you name it, we go there. It ranges for 3 weeks during winter, 6 weeks over summer, a whole semester, or a whole year abroad. So you could possibly study abroad more than once and still graduate in 4 years. Right now, the record is 9 times studying abroad and graduating in 4 years. So it's really all doable here at USD. And we even have our own USD center in Madrid. I kind of just threw a little snapshot of USD at you. It's very easy to apply. We're on the Common application. We just have one deadline of December 15th. So we do not do early action or early decision. Don't hesitate to reach out to me as I am your admission counselor, and I'd be happy to help walk you through the application process as well as decide if USD would be a good fit for you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, University of San Diego. And our final presenter is Whittier College.
Good morning, everyone. I am still in the Pacific Standard Time, so I still have about an hour left of morning. So very happy to be here with you all this morning. And thank you very much to our wonderful facilitator for making this possible. Great. So, again, thank you all very much. My name is Erasmo Fuentes. I'm the Director of Admissions here at Whittier College, and I hope that in the next couple of minutes, I'm able to share as much information about what Whittier has to offer, not only from the academic standpoint, but also regarding its co-curricular options for its students. So, Whittier College is a nationally respected college of the liberal arts and sciences. And perhaps, some of you folks may have heard that particular phrase before, liberal arts colleges, but oftentimes it depends in accordance to the institution that is utilizing that particular phrase, the way in that they're going to define it. And oftentimes its definition, it can mean one thing for one school, it can mean one thing for a different institution. Well, for us specifically at Whittier College, the best way to describe the overall liberal arts curriculum and experience is by breaking it down into these 3 concepts: exploration, connection, and challenges. When it comes to exploration, we do hope that our academic curriculum gives you the opportunity to explore your academic curiosities. Whether you're sitting in a history class or a business class, we do hope that you're able to dive into the academics and take as many courses as you like. That's one of the liberties, one of the freedoms that you will have by participating in a liberal arts curriculum, is the fact that you will have tons of different options to just explore along the way as you're working on your academic major. In addition to that, oftentimes a lot of our faculty will work together to ensure that the classes that you're taking are ultimately concepts that you're able to connect from one course to another. So don't be surprised if you're sitting in a history class and all of a sudden the history professor brings up a particular concept that you may have learned in a psychology class or a sociology class. Again, connection across the libets, it's going to be a big concept overall. And ultimately, we do hope that these 4 years that you'll spend with us at Whittier College, that ultimately you give yourself the opportunity to challenge yourself. And by challenges, not only are we talking about academics, yes, our faculty, our professors will expect nothing but the very best from you, but we also do hope that the co-curricular options that you will have at Whittier do provide you an opportunity to step out of your comfort zone and try something that perhaps maybe you were not exposed to previously. As I mentioned, we are a liberal arts college. As you can see here, we offer over 30 different academic majors, close to 40 different minors as well. And those minors are listed here with the small asterisks. Some of our most popular programs are biology, kinesiology, business administration, psychology, just to name a few. We also have a few pre-professional programs like pre-med and pre-physical therapy, as well as a 3-2 engineering program, which is in partnership with the University of Southern California. One thing I always highlight when talking about the academic options is that while yes, throughout the application process, we will ask you what are your top 2, your top 3 intended majors, by no means are we admitting anyone into a specific program or into a specific major. We admit our students as a whole into the institution, and then it is up to you with the help of your faculty mentor to decipher which academic path you wish to pursue. A vast majority of our students come in with an open mind, sort of undeclared, not knowing what they want to do, and that is perfectly fine. They spend the first year up to a year and a half satisfying the various liberal ed requirements, and it is not until the end of that sophomore year in which our students have to make some pretty big decisions to ultimately decide where to invest the remaining 2 years of their academic experiences at Whittier. An exciting aspect across the board that Whittier offers its students, no matter which major you decide to embark on, is the various opportunities that you will have for hands-on learning. Within the class, you will put what you're learning into practice through the various labs that we will offer you, group projects, and having classes out in the community. Outside of the class, students can take advantage of the many internships found on campus or around the Los Angeles and Orange County area, which is where the city of Whittier, where our college is located. Students can also take on fellowships to work in research alongside with faculty. And 100% of the classes that we offer at Whittier will be taught full-time by our professors. So there's no such thing as a teacher's assistant or a graduate student. It is our professors' main priority to work with our students. However, our faculty are still very actively engaged in their own academic communities. So often it's very common to see our faculty traveling to various conferences, presenting research that they're working on or working on a book. And since we are strictly an undergraduate institution, we don't have a graduate school to pull graduate students to assist with the research. So it's our very own undergraduate students that get to assist with these type of opportunities. So if you have the curiosity of possibly pursuing a particular career in academia, obviously, Whittier will provide you opportunities as early as day 1 to embark on fellowship opportunities. And in a non-COVID world, students can also take a part of our study abroad opportunities that we offer our students. Historically speaking, a majority of our students that do end up traveling abroad will study abroad by their junior year, only because by that moment in time, students have taken a significant amount of courses within their academic major that they can then go ahead and choose a destination that best fits their academic plan. We have about 1,700 students, with the average class size at Whittier being only 19 students. The welcoming classroom setting allows our students to know their professors, feel comfortable in asking questions, and actively engage in class discussions and activities. Overall, our faculty and staff work very, very hard, my friends, at making sure that students don't fall between the cracks by providing them with, the individual attention that they deserve. And that's, very true across the board to any sort of an institution that kind of has a similar profile as the one that Whittier offers. We are located, as I mentioned earlier, right in between Los Angeles and Orange County area, perhaps two of the biggest metropolitan areas in all of in the state of California. There are tons of different opportunities for recreational activities. On a perfect day with beautiful weather, you can very well go to a beach, go to an amusement park, go on a hiking trail, take advantage of one of the various sports franchises and sit at a ball game out here in Southern California. So again, tons of different cool things to do, and our students do not shy away from these opportunities. But obviously, students are coming to Whittier to develop not only their academic skills, but obviously polish their professional skills as well. And our Center for Career and Professional Development has done an exceptional job in ensuring that our students are well connected with the multiple different industries that surround us in the Southern California area. So we've been able to place our students in various internships, such as in the business field, in the tech industry, healthcare. Given the fact that we are surrounded by multiple different sports franchises, we have tons of those great opportunities as well. And at any given point in time, you can reach out to our office and we'll be more than happy to help.
Thank you very much, Whittier. And that does conclude our presentations. However, we do have a little bit of time remaining. So all of our attendees, you are welcome to send through any questions you may have through the Q&A feature. While we're waiting to see whether any questions come in, I might pose the following question to you all, and we can go around quickly and answer it. 6 minutes is not very long. So what's one thing you did not have time to present on? Perhaps it's an event or tradition on your campus, a fun fact about your school, or just something else you quickly want to cover. And we'll go back in that same order, starting with Gonzaga.
Hi, so one of my favorite traditions is our tent city. So there are 4 games in a year where it's designated as a tenting game, and those are our biggest 4 competitions. So like it'd be like a Duke or BYU are our biggest competitors that season. And to be in that front row, you have to camp out outside for a full 24 hours. One person must be in your tent at all time, and we will check all throughout the night. So we can do a random 2 a.m. check, and if no one is in there, you are automatically disqualified. But in the rain, in the snow, in the hail, you are in your tent, and there's like music playing, and they bring like dinner or breakfast, and it's just a show of students that are like the most dedicated to being in that front row, because you get to do the student tunnel, get out on the court and everything. So that is a lot of fun. And there's a whole bigger process to it, but that's one of my favorite traditions.
Great, thank you. Holy Cross.
Geez, that's hardcore. I'll just go with Holy Cross's campus is a registered arboretum. So there's over 125 different tree species on our campus. And for those who are knowledgeable about trees, I'm not sure what the proper term for that is. You could have a heyday on our campus, bopping around and checking out all of the different flowers and fauna. There's no camping out or anything like that in the hail or snow. You have a nice warm bed to sleep in.
Thank you. Loyola.
Since we're, it's March, it's basketball time, let me give a basketball history fact. So again, as I said earlier, Loyola is the only university in the state of Illinois to win a national championship. There's a little bit more to that. The 1963 national championship is also known as the Game of Change, because it was the first time a college basketball team played an integrated starting 5. So they, along the road, went and played Mississippi State, went down to the south, started this starting 5. They couldn't even be in the town that they played the game in. So 1963, Loyola was kind of like breaking those barriers and really embodying the Jesuit values real early.
Great, thank you. Fordham.
Yeah, so one thing I always love to highlight is that among our 70+ majors, we have 2 really awesome arts programs. We have a theater program, which is the #1 BA theater program in the country, and also a dance program, which is a partnership with the Alvin Ailey School, which I am personally a huge fan of, despite the fact that I'm not a dancer at all. But our theater and dance program are just really awesome. You get tons of hands-on experience through the programs themselves, but also through being in New York City and getting to engage with the arts in New York. And applying for those programs, you do have to apply by our earlier deadline. So we always like to note that to make sure that if you're interested, you make sure to get in by that early deadline for the arts programs.
Great, thank you. San Diego.
Yeah, so one of my favorite traditions at USD is our Christmas tree lighting ceremony. It's just a lot of fun. Students, faculty, staff, families really come around, and it's all lit up by candlelight, and then we light up our Christmas tree in the darkness. So it's definitely a lot of fun. And a fun fact for y'all, Chris Bryant went to USD. So if there's any Cub fans out there.
Thank you. Someone's shaking his head. Whittier?
Thank you. So sort of like a fun fact is that more than 50% of our students at Whittier and a quarter of our faculty are people of color. So we're definitely very happy to embrace the diversity on campus. And sort of a quick, cool tradition that we have is midnight breakfast. So on the night before reading day, which is the day before finals begin, faculty and staff go down to the campus inn to cook breakfast for our students. And students literally get to have breakfast like around 11 o'clock at night on that night before the reading day starts, so that kicks off all of our final seasons.
Thank you. And thank you to all of our panelists today. We are closing in to the end of the session, but it was great to have you give these wonderful presentations to all of our students attending. Before we do end this session, just a few quick housekeeping items. First of all, thank you very much, students, for joining us today. I was glad to have you here. When you close this window, you will receive a very quick 4-question survey that you ask you take a minute and complete. And about 1 week from today, a recording of this session will be available on that same registration website. But thank you very much and good luck in your college search. Have a great day.